As January comes to an end, something familiar happens. The motivation that felt strong at the beginning of the year starts to fade. Health goals feel harder to maintain, and many people quietly assume they failed. But the problem isn't you. The problem is how we've been taught to think about healthy eating. Most health plans are built around goals. Lose weight, cut sugar, eat clean, stick to a plan. Goals depend on motivation and discipline, and motivation is temporary. Your body doesn't respond to goals. It responds to biology. Hunger hormones don't know it's January. Blood sugar doesn't care what you promised yourself on New Year's Day. And digestion doesn't follow rules written on a meal plan. When healthy eating falls apart, it's usually not because of a lack of willpower. It's because the plan was fighting how the body actually works. Modern healthy eating often focuses on labels instead of digestion. We're told to choose low-calorie foods, light snacks, or foods that look healthy on the package. But many of those foods digest quickly, don't trigger fullness signals, and leave us hungry again soon after eating. That cycle feels like failure, but it isn't. It's a systems problem. A lifestyle approach to eating doesn't rely on motivation. It relies on patterns your body naturally responds to. One of the biggest shifts is understanding digestion speed. Foods that digest quickly raise blood sugar fast and fade just as fast. Foods that digest slowly create steadier energy and longer-lasting fullness. That difference has nothing to do with discipline and everything to do with structure. For example, eating a rice cake by itself provides energy, but very little protein, fat, or fiber. It digests quickly, raises blood sugar, and often leads to hunger soon after. That doesn't make rice cakes bad. It just explains why they don't keep you full on their own. Now, compare that to pairing that same rice cake with peanut butter, yogurt, or cottage cheese. Suddenly, digestion slows, blood sugar rises more gradually, and fullness lasts longer. Same food, different system. This is what lifestyle eating looks like. It's not restriction, it's context. Another shift is chewing. Chewing is the first step of digestion, but modern diets rely heavily on foods that require very little of it. Smoothies, juices, protein drinks, and ultra-processed snacks move through the body quickly and don't trigger the same satiety signals as solid food. That's one reason liquid calories are easier to overconsume. Not because they're bad, but because the body processes them differently. Foods that require chewing naturally slow eating, support digestion, and signal fullness sooner. That's not a rule, it's physiology. Fiber plays a similar role. Fiber changes how sugar is absorbed, how fast food moves through the gut, and how full you feel after eating. Whole fruits behave differently than fruit juice. Whole grains behave differently than refined grains. Not because one is moral and the other isn't, but because fiber changes digestion. This is why natural sugar can still affect the body when it's removed from its original food structure. Honey, agave, and juice may be natural, but without fiber, they're absorbed quickly and impact blood sugar much like refined sugar. Again, that's not fear-based. It's explanatory. Lifestyle eating also removes decision fatigue. Many diets require constant choices, tracking, or restriction. Over time, that mental load becomes exhausting. A sustainable system reduces the number of decisions you have to make. Instead of asking, "Is this allowed?" the question becomes, "Does this meal slow digestion and support fullness?" That single shift simplifies everything. Another key piece is consistency over intensity. Healthy eating that lasts isn't about perfect days. It's about repeatable meals, familiar patterns, and foods your body recognizes. The more predictable your eating patterns are, the less motivation you need. This is why extreme resets often fail. They demand too much change too quickly and don't align with real life. A more realistic reset doesn't start with cutting foods out. It starts with building meals differently. Add protein instead of removing carbs. Add fiber instead of eliminating sugar. Add structure instead of chasing rules. Over time, those small shifts compound. And perhaps most importantly, lifestyle eating removes guilt from the equation. If you've ever thought, "I know what I should eat, I just can't stick to it," that's not a personal failure. That's a sign the system wasn't built to last. Your body isn't broken. Your metabolism isn't weak. You weren't meant to white-knuckle your way through food choices forever. Healthy eating that works long-term is quiet. It doesn't rely on January motivation. It doesn't collapse when life gets busy. And it doesn't require perfection. It works because it aligns with biology, not because it demands discipline. If your health goals have faded this month, that doesn't mean you failed. It means it's time to stop chasing goals and start building a lifestyle your body can actually sustain. Follow FoodFactsLab for more science in every bite.